بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Today inshallah we'll look at the aunts and uncles of Hassan Hussein radiallahu anhuma from their mother's side, their maternal aunt and uncles. Who is the mother of Hassan Hussein? Fatima radiallahu anha. So obviously her brothers and sisters, they're all the children of Fatima, of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Khadija bint Khuwaylid radiallahu anha. So we will first look at the daughters of the Prophet ﷺ. So Fatima radiallahu anha, we'll talk about her later. Let's look at the aunts of the Prophet ﷺ. Actually, look at the uncles. That will be interesting. The uncles of Hassan Hussein radiallahu anhu from his mother's side, in Urdu bi Mamu. Right, so he had three uncles, Qasim, Ibrahim, and Abdullah. Some scholars say that he was also known as Tayyib, and others say that Tahir is actually Abdullah's other two names, Tayyib and Tahir, and vice versa. Some say that his original name was Tayyib, and he had other names, and as well as for Tahir. However, Qasim was the oldest male son of the Prophet ﷺ from his male children. None of them survived. None of them lived to a mature age, and they all died in an early stage. However, Qasim was the oldest, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ, his nickname was Abu al-Qasim. Normally the Arab tradition back then, even until this day, that they will nickname after the oldest son. So Qasim was the oldest son, so that's why he was known as Abu al-Qasim, the father of Qasim. The second was Ibrahim. Ibrahim is not from Khadija bint Khuwaylid. He is the son of Maria Qibtiyya. Qibti, the Qibt are from Egypt. Muqawqas, the king, he sent her as a gift, and the Prophet ﷺ lived with her for a long time, and she gave birth to Ibrahim. Some say he was born in Mecca, others say he was born in Medina. He kind of outlived his other brothers. To the age that where he was able to walk and talk and even ride on a camel as well. So he was a little older than the rest. And the story is famous. When he died, the Prophet ﷺ was crying. He was weeping. Tears were flowing out of his eyes. And someone asked that, what is this? He said, this is the rahmah. This is the mercy of Allah that Allah has cast in the heart of a believing man. That we believe in Allah, we believe in the qadr, we believe that everything happens for a purpose, and the ultimate power is in Allah's hands. He gives and He takes. Yu'ti and yanzi'u. He gives and also takes away. So He has given a child and He's taken back as a amana. But He said in the end, وَإِنَّا بِفِرَاقِكَ يَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ لَمَحْزُونٌ, that we are grieved by your departure, O Ibrahim. So the Prophet ﷺ was very grieved that he has lost his own child. He's buried in Al-Baqi', and there's a spot that is known that where he's buried. Wallahu a'lam, Allah knows best. So all of them are the male children of the Prophet ﷺ. Some scholars say that Ibrahim was the fourth child and there were three others. So it would be Abdullah or Tayyib or Abdullah and Tahir, and then Qasim. Three male children from Khadija radiallahu anha, and Ibrahim was the fourth. So some scholars say that there were actually five altogether. So Tayyib and Tahir, there are two separate children of the Prophet ﷺ, also died in their infancy. The sisters of Fatima radiallahu anha, the oldest, however, is Zainab radiallahu anha, and then Ruqayya, and then Kulthum, and then Fatima radiallahu anha. She was the youngest. So let's look a little bit about Hassan and Hussein's maternal aunts. Zainab radiallahu anha, she is one of the first ones to accept Islam. She is married to Abu al-As ibn al-Rabi'. Abu al-As ibn al-Rabi' is also a cousin to Zainab, to the Prophet ﷺ's children. He was the nephew of Khadija radiallahu anha. The sister of Khadija radiallahu anha was the mother of Abu al-As, so they were both cousins. The Prophet ﷺ also married his other two daughters, Ruqayya and Kulthum, to their cousins, Utbah and Utayba. Both were the sons of Abu Lahab. He is what is he related to the Prophet ﷺ? Uncle. So they are cousins. When the Prophet ﷺ invited people to Islam openly, many people took offense and became staunch enemies of the Prophet ﷺ. In particular, a lot of his very close relatives. One of them was his uncle, Abu Lahab, as the story is mentioned in Surah Al-Lahab. Their two sons were told by their father, Abu Lahab, that divorce your wives. Some scholars say that at that time they were only engaged and they were not married. But they broke that relationship with the Prophet ﷺ's daughters. They then also came to Abu al-As ibn Rabi'a. His mother's name is Hala, by the way. They came to him and they said, you do the same as your other cousins did. His story is a love story. They both loved one another, immense love they had for one another. And he refused, and he said that I will not divorce my wife. I will not abandon the family of the Prophet ﷺ, although he did not accept Islam at this point. And he would also be with the rest of the people, but he would not openly show animosity towards the Prophet ﷺ and the other believing men and women. And he was still very loyal and loving to his wife. And he would always show that affection that even scholars have mentioned poetry that he used to say praising his wife, Zainab bint Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the daughter of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he loved her a lot. So they kept on pressing him and putting a lot of pressure on him to divorce his wife. And they said, we will give you this wealth. We will marry you to one of the best women of Quraysh, and so on and so forth. And even all of that, he said that I have married one of the best people from Quraysh. And he would always praise the Prophet ﷺ and his family. So that was very interesting way from the beginning. And that is an indication for his future. It happened that the Prophet ﷺ migrated to Medina, and many of the Muslims migrated before the Prophet ﷺ, and he was one of the last ones to migrate to Medina. From the children of the Prophet ﷺ, Zainab did not go because she was still with her husband. She stayed in Medina for a long time, and until the expedition of Badr happened. And what happened in Badr, we all know that victory was for the Muslims. 70 of the people of Quraysh were killed and 70 were captured. One of the detainees, or the detainees of the war, was Abu al-As ibn Rabi'ah. The Prophet ﷺ, gave choices to the people to pay ransom to free themselves by teaching or paying ransom, and they can go free. Abu al-As sent a message, and the message was sent to Zainab. Zainab radiallahu anha, she had a very precious necklace, and she sent that necklace to free Abu al-As. And that necklace was no ordinary one. It was given by her mother, Khadija radiallahu anha, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now guess what will happen when that necklace was presented before the Prophet ﷺ as a ransom for Abu al-As, his nephew. The Prophet ﷺ, when he saw that necklace, he just remembered, because it was Khadija's necklace, and the Prophet ﷺ stayed with her for 25 years, most loving, and he never stopped praising her, and he loved her the most, from what we know how the Prophet ﷺ usually described her. So he remembered, as soon as he saw that necklace, he just remembered Khadija radiallahu anha, and he started to cry. And the Sahaba say that we saw the Prophet ﷺ crying, like really crying. And he started talking about Khadija radiallahu anha. And after a while, he said to the Sahaba that, how about this? That we make an exception for Abu al-As. He's a prophet, he could do whatever he wants, but he took consultation from the companions, and he said that if you agree with me, I would like to give this necklace back to his wife, my daughter, and let him go for free. All the Sahaba said, O Prophet of Allah, whatever you decide, whatever makes you happy makes us happy. Do whatever you wish to do. But at that point, the Prophet ﷺ did not just do it on his own. He consulted his people, because it had a personal touch to it. It was something a little personal. So the Prophet ﷺ did consult the Sahaba on this matter. He accepted Islam way after Fath Makkah. The Prophet ﷺ, after Fatah Makkah, they were looking for certain people, and he came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he asked for protection, and the Prophet ﷺ presented Islam, and he accepted Islam, and the Prophet ﷺ then kept that marriage as it was before, and didn't change, didn't do another nikah, and they continued to stay as a wife and husband. So that was Zainab radiallahu anha. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to allow us to take their good character that they left behind for us. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll continue a little more about Abu al-As, because there's some more interesting aspect of his coming to Islam, inshallah.